Blasphemous 2 is a 2D Metroidvania platformer with recursive elements developed by the Game Kitchen and published by Team 17. The original's core is still present, but the extremes have been sanded off for better or worse. While the quality of life decisions have taken away a lot of frustrations, it also feels as if this game lacks any memorable encounters or locations. If you're not familiar with the premise, you explore areas, avoid hazards, and slay countless enemies and bosses so your character can unlock more abilities to progress through the game. It can be a punishing affair at times, made more difficult by the fact that every death makes your character weaker and the world more unforgiving unless you make it back to the spot you perished to reclaim what you lost. As piecing together the lore of the first game is half the fun, I will be scarce on the hard story details. Blasphemous 2 picks up right where the original left off, and the map is absolutely oozing in macabre and mystique that has you scratching your head from start to finish trying to figure out what the overlying plotline is. There's locations with hidden characters and characters that take you to hidden rooms, but there's no way of knowing whether you're on the right track or about to slam into another dead end because you don't have the right ability to progress yet. Luckily, the movement feels tight and responsive from the get-go. With great Metroidvanias comes great backtracking, and Blasphemous 2 still hasn't figured out how to take the tedium away from retraversing the same locations, whether you're searching for the correct path or trying to get back to where you died. The first major area is astoundingly monotonous and filled with numerous dead ends teasing at abilities you'll later find, but it doesn't lend itself to organic retraversal and comes off as rubbing completionist content in your face. However, once you find those extra abilities, such as the double jump, the slam, the air dash, and the cherub grab, the map layout becomes more dynamic and filled with platforming puzzle challenges. It's more exciting relative to the first section, but none take more than a few seconds of planning to figure out, and most of the challenge comes from killing or avoiding enemies sprinkled all over the floors and walls. Good news is there are minimal instant death pits in this game, but a lot of the monsters are bothersome due to high health, strange hitboxes, or movesets that diminish yours. You have 3 weapons with varying attacks and extra unlockable actions, but they're either too slow and leave you vulnerable, or not as effective as a simple smack and dash. I don't even recommend parrying because there's a high chance the enemy clips into you and hits you anyways. As far as the bosses, they're a pretty standard Souls-like affair, encouraging you to stay close and get your licks in as you dodge one of the 3 random movesets. It's not bad, but it's a notable difference coming from the studio lauded for having one of the most visually striking themes modeled after the Spanish Semana Santa. All in all, Blasphemous 2 is another solid entry point for the recursive Metroidvania genre that doesn't stray too far from the beaten path, and in doing so played it a little too safe for the follow-up. The movement feels tight and responsive, and the extra abilities are flashy, but there's no place to show any of it off. The bosses feel standardized, and the map drones on for well over 20 hours, even at a rushed pace. There's less suffering, but there's less glory, which almost feels wrong for a game titled Blasphemous. Blasphemous 2 is available August 24 for PC on Steam and GOG, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch for $29.99.